Gracie, you want to go up next?
I would love to. Am I supposed to stand?
Yeah, you can go stand. You can do whatever you want.
One thing is probably obvious, which is I'm quite different from others on the stage. Actually, I'm quite different in another way. I'm neither a scientist nor a science journalist. And honestly, if my former friends and colleagues, my friends and colleagues saw me on this stage with this group of people, they would laugh because I was actually a broadcast journalist and I covered wars, I covered politics, I covered many things, but I never covered science. And that is because we all assumed that science was boring and that scientists were boring. And so my story is really about how I discovered that science is a great story. And I did a program in about 1999 called The Century with Peter Jennings, and I was producing a part of it called The Thinkers. And I interviewed many impressive, incredible people. And what I found that the scientists were actually more interesting and more compelling than anyone else I talked to. Actually, there were Richard Dawkins, Brian Green, many others were in that program. And so I realized again that the science stories are really, they were untapped. They were, people didn't realize in the mainstream media that these are great adventure stories and many other things. So in 2005 or so, Brian Green and I co-founded a thing called the World Science Festival, and what we wanted to do was bring science to a general audience in a very new way. We wanted to use all of the storytelling multimedia techniques you could throw at these great stories. And the key thing is we wanted to put the scientists on the stage. They were great communicators, and they often didn't get the chance to do that. So Laurence is a wonderful participant in the festival. He has been there a number of years. And so he asked me to, as part of this talk, bring a video that would actually show what the World Science Festival is and does. So if we can bring the lights down, we can show a bit of that.
Some of the biggest names in science and the arts have gathered here in New York City for the World Science Festival.
The festival, which has been called a new cultural institution by the New York Times, takes science out of the laboratory and into the streets.
World Science Festival kicks off with a star-studded gala performance hosted by Oscar-winning actor Alan Alda.
Tonight we fly across the cosmos at the speed of art. Scientists and artists come together and give us a view of nature that is both fascinating and fun.
It is my distinct pleasure to dedicate Icarus at the Edge of Time to tonight's honoree. More than any other member of our species, Professor Hawking has traveled closest to the edge of time.
I am very honored by this wonderful evening.
What's such a great adventure about science?
The idea that we can all understand science and not have to be scientists is just a wonderful miracle of this festival.
There's a tremendous appetite in the public for knowing what science is actually accomplishing.
Is life a one-off chance?
Are our genes our destiny?
Is there a mathematical order to nature?
What the hell is mathematics?
Is there aliens in space?
This is what science is about. The excitement, the wonder, the adventure, the discovery.
If you ask me what do I hope to find, I don't know, more cool stuff.
To moderate this panel on quantum physics, do you know anything about it?
Well, you know...
The most intimidating audience to teach a short Black Holes 101 course in front of Professor Stephen Hawking.
Give us a thumbnail sketch of the beginning of the cosmos as we now know it.
You can actually do a calculation to find out how many bits are necessary to simulate the universe.
The program here tonight will discuss more dimensions than meet
the eye. Now, string theory, it's multi-dimensional, vibrating strings that are so small that there's no way to ever measure at any imaginable point in the future. And yet, people still take you seriously.
Kinds of things that will be said here on this stage this evening are the kinds of things over which wars have been started.
There's no animal in the animal kingdom has wreaked the kind of havoc that we have.
Unless we take care of the ocean, nothing else really matters.
You deserve to be punished for doing the wrong thing.
Tonight we're going to explore science and religion.
Why do you still have faith in God?
What do you mean still? You can't predict what's coming next. You can't prove what's coming next. I'll tell you what. You don't care because you're a physicist. If you can't solve a problem, convince yourself that it's not important. Forget about it.
We got to get especially young people interested in science, because by the time they hit school, it is literally crushed out of them.
I think young people care a lot more about science than we did when we were their age.
Who among the young people here would like to go to Mars?
What can people expect from a free street fair?
You won't find falafel or tube socks. This is really wall-to-wall science.
I love the idea that they're taking the exhibits out to the people.
I live for being around great young scientists because the world has amazing possibilities.
I am a mathemagician. That's 300 times 238 plus 31 squared, 71,400 plus 961 is 72,361. Let's hear it for algebra!
Is something beautiful to you because we're hardwired to like beautiful things, or because it relates to reality?
Put your stereo glasses on.
These images, they are artworks of the universe.
The storytelling has to be direct enough to move us from one panel to another panel to another panel.
Science Festival. I'll be there.
So as you can tell from that highlights reel, what we try to do is open up new avenues of entry into science through the arts, through debate, discussion, through Nobel laureates talking to children, and what we hope to accomplish. And based on the people who attend, I mean, it's been 5 years, and nearly 1 million people have attended the live events. And the goal, and what we hope will continue, is to move science out of the siloed existence that it tended to be for a general audience and smack into the middle of popular culture where it belongs. So, thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Okay, let me call upon your trailing spouse.
That's right.
Brian.
Thank you. Thank you.